Hey guys, we are back with some more New Jersey Devils franchise mode, and this one, we have a big decision to make, because currently, with our roster the way it's playing, we're not on a good track. We're still in the position to make a push for the playoffs, because we're only 4 points behind the Blue Jackets, who are in third in the Metro, so we could be thankful that we actually have a pretty weak division this year, but, you know, we have to kind of be better than just... We're not even average right now. We're below 500. And if we want to make the playoffs, I think we have to make a significant change to our coaching staff, because everyone is underperforming right now, including Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier. Taylor Hall has been quiet for the last couple of months of the season. So we just have to get something going. And Patrick Marleau, unfortunately, does not have the best record with us. He's currently has 19 wins, 20 losses, and 7 OT losses on the current season. And last season, 17, 15, and 2. So in total, that is 36, 35, and 9, meaning over the 80 games that he has coached us, he is 36 and 44 if you match the OT losses and regulation losses together. So I don't think that's good enough, especially not with this roster. I think our players need to get some chemistry together, and unfortunately that hasn't happened under Patrick Marleau. We haven't been able to put together really any +3 or +5 lines. I mean, there is the first line, I think of, was it Bratt, Hughes, and Perlini that put together a +3, but no other line combinations that I have tested out has been able to put together anything higher than a +1. Even on defense. So I think it is time to say goodbye, not only to Patrick Marleau, but to every single NHL coach that we have, because we just need a full house cleaning here, I feel. And for right now, we're going to have to make PK Subban our interim NHL head coach. And the reason that we're firing all of our NHL coaches right now is because there is a very, very good head coach on the market who I feel is going to be the perfect coach for this team. As we take a look here, he is at the very top of the list. He's going to cost a boatload of money, $6.45 million per year. That is super expensive, but you take a look at his attributes, A+, 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 C for coach influence, but that doesn't really matter too much when your coaches are already fully developed. And for us, we're getting 4 already pretty darn good coaches, including Edward Potter here. He is a proven winner. 318 wins, 216 losses, 40 overtime losses on his career, for a points percentage of 58.9. And the most attractive part of this to me is his team fit is a 73%. I don't think I've seen anything higher in this game before Potter than like a 68. Potter is a 73% team fit. And as we take a look at all of our defensemen on his roster scheme fit, Carlson fits him perfectly. And then Slavin and Fabro, they're up there as well. And Nurse and Severson are also would enjoy playing for him tremendously. And Lankow even down there, he's almost up to perfect. So that tells me that we can get some serious chemistry boosts from having Edward Potter as our coach. If not at forward, then definitely on defense. Because you see Nurse and Severson and Carlson with the perfect roster scheme fit for Edward Potter. And then not only that, but all of our forwards are well above half of his roster scheme fit as well. Hughes, Hall, Hischier, Bratt, Perlini, Boqvist, Lundell, Bykov, Keiskinen, Sisson, Zaka, and Twarynski, all above half. So I think this guy will be the perfect coach for us. He has an offensive mindset, which we are, or should be, an offensive team, even though we haven't been scoring. And he wants to be with a champion status team. We are a champion status team. Even though we may not be playing like it right now, we are still, nonetheless, a champion status team, according to the game. So we are going to offer him a contract right away. We're not even going to interview him, because I know he is the perfect coach that is cut out to lead this team to victory. And I may have said that about Patrick Marleau, because he wasn't, in fact, a 2-time Jack Adams winner, but his roster fit didn't impress me nearly as much as Edward Potter does. And I feel like if we just give him some time to let the roster gel together, and if we could get some +3s, maybe even some +5s there on defense, or even on the forward core, we should be set to make a playoff run. So we are going to offer him a contract, 5 years for $7 million per season. That is ridiculous. So now, as we go ahead to offer a new associate coach in H. McCarty, he is a generalist and he has a 65% team fit. Carlson also fits him perfectly. Now, unfortunately, Severson's kind of down there, but for the most part, McCarty looks like a pretty good coach. He's great on the penalty kill. He's got an A for teaching as well, so he can help out our young guys in that respect. We'll offer him the NHL associate coach, and we'll give him $1.4 million just to make sure that we get him. Budget doesn't really matter in this as long as you don't have owner mode on. So we're going to be going way over our budget, but we're going to be getting the best coaches possible here. So now as we sort by teaching an NHL assistant coach, we will be getting Kay Fair. He's a generalist. He's 52 years of age. Good with teaching. Good on the power play. So a power play coach. Our associate coach, McCarty, will be our penalty kill coach. And he's got a 66% roster fit. And Carlson also fits it perfectly. So this is really just an attempt to get our star players going. When you have this many coaches that have this perfect of a roster fit, that should, in theory, get all of our star players going, especially Carlson, with how much of a roster fit he has for all these coaches. So $750,000 per year for 3 years, offer contract to you. And now the last coach we are going to be going after is actually an AHL head coach, but for goaltenders, Chloe Hamill. So maybe the first female goalie coach in league history. I'm not entirely sure on that. Maybe someone could check that, but nonetheless, still a very good goalie coach, as she has the A for teaching, B for offense even, so a serviceable coach for other parts of the game as well, but just her specialty is for goaltenders. So we will offer her the NHL goalie coach job for 3 years, and we'll go, I would say, we'll even go for $1 million, just to make sure that we get her on board and offer contract, especially since we're not offering her the role that she expects. So there you go. We have offered 4 new NHL coaches. So PK Subban is just our interim NHL head coach for right now until Potter signs on. And we're obviously going to have to simulate a few games here just to get all of our coaches on board. So we will advance a few days. And the game against Vancouver, what will it be? We have McCarty on board. We have Hamill on board. And the game against Vancouver is a 3-2 win. There you go. Now, just to make sure that we can get the other coaches that we signed, we are going to move Novotny back down to the AHL. And I think once we get our NHL head coach, PK Subban should immediately go back down to the AHL because he's only the interim NHL head coach. And there's Edward Potter. Very nice. Let's get this season underway officially with Edward Potter and Kurt Fair. The role we offered him is already filled. So I would guess that maybe PK Subban is currently taking up that position. And yes, indeed, so we will move him down to AHL assistant coach, and we will go back after Fair. Yeah, as we see our budget, almost negative $5 million, but hopefully, if we win the Stanley Cup, that negative $5 million budget should end up being worth it. So we will offer the contract again to Kurt Fair, and hopefully he accepts this time. And a game against Chicago, what do we have? We have a 3-2 loss, unfortunately. But let's just wait until we get all of our coaching staff on board before we make any real judgments about this team, and there is Kurt Fair. So as we take a look at our coaching staff now, everyone on board with the team. Potter, there's an 80%, first of all, there's an 80% staff chemistry, so I don't think we've ever had that so far in this series. And as we take a look at the team fit once again, I mean, it should end up being perfect. So now we will take a look at the lines with Potter on board. So there's not too much chemistry at forward at the moment. But if we take a look at the defense, oh, yes. I knew it. So every defensive pairing is currently at a +3. Let's see if we can find a +5 in there somewhere. Because with Carlson fitting completely, I have a feeling we may be able to find a +5 in there somewhere. Fabro, Lankow, yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at that. All of our defensemen fit it very well on basically every pair. So let's see, Fabro and Carlson. No, okay. I think we already tried Nurse. Lankow, that's the same as Slavin. Severson, yeah, okay, so it doesn't look like we're going to get any +5s here, but we are getting 3 +3s. So that will take Karlsson up to a 90 overall, Slavin to an 89 overall, Nurse to an 86, Fabro to an 89, Severson to an 86, and Langkow to an 82. So that should end up helping us out a lot, and hopefully we could get it going 5-on-5 scoring-wise, and even the power play. The power play's been dead as well lately, so we just really need to get it going all around, but hopefully the coaching change will do that for us. So we're going to try to find optimal chemistry here with the forward lines as well. We may as well go back to the original lines of Boqvist, Hughes, and Hall, and then Bratt, Hischier, and Perlini to see how things work out that way. Kieskinen, Lundell, and Bykov, Twarynski, Zaka, and Sissons. I just see if we can find something for the fourth line there. So if we put Zaka on the third line instead of Lundell, that boosts up to a +3. That might help out, although I don't know if I want to move Lundell down to the fourth line, given that he's been one of our consistent scorers throughout the season. I mean, he's obviously not the scoring type, but he's consistent in the amount of points that he gets from season to season. As we see in his first season, 33, second season, 32, third season, 34, last season, 40, and this season he's on pace for around 40 as well. So I don't think I want to move him off that third line just for the sake of getting a +3 in there. I mean, we will if we have to, but for right now, I'd prefer to run this line, and we'll see how things work out with the +3s to every defensive pair. And Wingles, my man, you got to get it done here. You have to. You have that medium elite potential. You're 23 years of age. You are the future of this franchise in goal. I would hope anyway. So you got to get that save percentage back up there. And we are relying on you to get us back into the playoff race. So it's safe to say with the coaching changes we have made, I will hold off on any trades that I would have made for at least until the trade deadline. I want to see how this team simulates under our new head coach, Potter, and we will see what happens going into February. I mean, obviously, we only have 2 games given the All-Star break, but we'll see what happens anyway here against Ottawa and Vegas. A 5-1 loss and a 3-2 win. So we will go up to the trade deadline here, and we will see how this team simulates under Edward Potter. We have a trade to Boston, a first and Sestito, and to Florida, Matheson and a 5th. So Matheson going back to Florida. Another trade to Winnipeg, a second-round pick and Luhavara, and to Chicago, Jenner, and a 3rd. Trade alert to Montreal. Binnington will go to Montreal, and to St. Louis, a 2nd, a 3rd, and Schroeder. So we're currently not doing so well. Jack Hughes in 60 games with 45 points. The offense is just drying up big time. Taylor Hall with 41 points in 54 games. We need to get something going here. All right, so here's the lines we're going with. Bykov, Hughes, and Perlini. Bratt, Hischier, Hall, Boqvist, Lundell, and Kieskinen, and then Twarynski, Zaka, and Sissons. On defense, you have Slavin and Severson, Nurse and Fabro, Langkow and Severson. I don't believe that changed, but the power play did in fact change. And we did manage to get a +3 there. So the first line power play, Hall, Hischier, Perlini, Langkow, and Fabro brings the +1. And to the second line power play, Bratt, Hughes, Kieskinen, Slavin, and Karlsson brings the +3 to that line. So Bratt will be a 90, Hughes will be a 94, Kieskinen will be an 86, Slavin the 89, Karlsson the 90. Hopefully that can get that power play going. And we have a +1 to the 4-man power play with Hughes, Hall, Slavin, and Karlsson, and then Hischier, Perlini, Langkow, and Fabro. And the penalty kill was also changed, and we have a +5 to the penalty kill as well. Hischier, Sissons, Langkow, and Fabro, and then Lundell, Zaka, Slavin, and Severson. And the 3-man penalty kill, you have a +1 there on the first line with Hischier, Langkow, and Fabro, and then Lundell, Slavin, and Severson. So those are the lines we're going with. We are trusting this team past the trade deadline. We are unfortunately quite a few points out of the playoff spot, but if we go on a huge run at the end of the season, anything can happen. We are currently 5 points behind the Senators. We are 3 points behind the Hurricanes and the Islanders. We can still do it, but we need to go on a huge winning streak towards the end of the season. So here we go. We're going to do the rest of the regular season in this video. We're not making any trades. I feel somewhat comfortable with this roster now that we've found some line chemistry there. Hopefully it works out for the best. So first 6 games with these new lines. Trade alert. To Boston, we have Nordqvist and Cones, and to Vancouver, Bjork, Frederick, and a 3rd. There's a win. And to Colorado, we have Ryan Pulock. And to Arizona, Korpikoski. And 2 fifths, or actually a fifth and a sixth. Read that wrong at first. Kel Clegg's on waivers, no thank you. But a big 5-3 win against Arizona. Josh Jacobs is injured. That's unfortunate. That's Binghamton. Tampa Bay, shootout win. There's a 3-0 win against Pittsburgh. Okay. There's a loss against the Rangers, followed up with a win. Nope. 5-0 loss. Hate to see it. Come on, boys. Get me a few wins in a row here. There's a win against Montreal, so we went 4-2 in that stretch. Those 2 losses there are unfortunate, but would have definitely liked to have those wins, especially against the Rangers. We're currently 6 points back of them, so that was crucial. This game against them upcoming is also very important. We are creeping closer to the Lightning and the Senators. We are only 2 points back of the Senators. We are 4 points back of the Lightning. And if we could pass the Islanders, that would also be huge. Come on, boys. Huge stretch coming up here, especially these last couple of games against the Rangers. Jesper Bratt injured with an injured knee. That is unfortunate. March 14th. So let's see. Let's get Boqvist. Maybe Kieskinen then? Nope. How about Lundell? Let's see if we can get that +1 anywhere. Nope. Twarynski? Nope. Zaka? There you go, Zaka. So I guess it'll have to be Zaka there, and then Sissons in the middle, and then we will get Zetterlund in there on right wing. Game against the Rangers, that's a 3-2 loss. Come on, boys. 4-3 win against Carolina. Florida will be a 5-4 win, okay. Bratt's back, good. We need him desperately. So we will get Zaka back to the 4th line, Zetterlund up here, and replace him with Bratt. Game against Buffalo, OT win, okay, Jesper Boqvist, I'm sorry for how I'm playing out there. Yeah, vote of confidence, sure, we're on the same page now. Alright, game against Minnesota, 5-4 loss. I mean, you hate to see it because we need every point we can get right now, but at least it was against a Western Conference team. Toronto, big win here, no, 5-2 loss. And a 4-1 loss against Florida. Oh no, this isn't good. And we have a huge game against the Rangers upcoming. They have 75 points, we have 71. If we can win this game, we will be within 2 points. Unfortunately, the Lightning are starting to run away with that first wild card, but we could still catch the Senators. And it's actually more likely that we catch the Rangers for that divisional spot than we catch the Lightning for that first wild card. And we do have a couple of games in hand on the Senators, though, so that's worth noting. So this is entirely still possible, but we need to pick it up in this last stretch. And you know what? As a matter of fact, this is a huge game. We're going to do the slow simulation here. Come on, boys. Get that W. First period, 1-0 lead for the Rangers. Goal by Zibanejad on Wingels. Second period, there you go. Goal by Jack Hughes on Nielsen. All right, here we go. Third period, slow simulation. Shots are 19-27 in favor of the Rangers. But can we get one on the power play here? No, we can't. Oh, my goodness. Please, boys. Get me one New Jersey. Holtz on Wingels. Alexander Holtz with the New York Rangers. Gets the current game-winning goal. Can we get the tire? No, we can't. Robertson with the empty netter. That's unfortunate. They now pull away. And they are now, I believe, 6 points ahead of us. The Rangers seem to have our number this year, unfortunately. And we are going to have to go on a pretty big run here in these last, 8 games? So I would say we need at least 6 out of 8, if not all 8. So we cannot afford any losses here, especially against Eastern Conference teams. So there you go. There's a win against Anaheim. Carolina, there's a win. Winnipeg, there's a win. Okay. We're starting to move our way back in, but unfortunately there's a loss against Boston and a loss against Tampa. Come on, boys. Detroit. Kane Lankow's injured. It's unfortunate, but I think that's just going to replace Xavier Bernard in there. So we'll replace player. OT win against Detroit. Oh, man. I think it might come down to the wire here. What is the Atlantic Division wildcard looking like? So we could still, in theory, catch the Senators because we have a game in hand on them. But we are going to have to win these last 2 games. One single loss could put us out of the playoffs, even in overtime. I mean, we're obviously not competing with the Penguins for a playoff spot, and I don't think we're competing with the Capitals either. Yeah, they look like they're eliminated, but we need 4 points out of these last 2 games. And as a matter of fact, we will once again go into these two games because they are absolutely crucial. Let's go simulate the game against Pittsburgh. We are in Pittsburgh. First period. There you go. You love to see it. Severson and Boquist on Saros, and then Cahoon on Grubauer. Second period. Klingberg on Grubauer. Third period. We need something huge here. 17 shots, and Nico Hischier on Saros. We currently lead 3-2. Damon Severson on Saros. Let's go. Slavin on Saros. That is what you love to see. So we have a 3-goal lead. We just hold it. Don't collapse in typical New Jersey Devils fashion of the 2019-20 season. Come on, boys. Cahoon. Come on. Goaltenders. Come on, defense. Shut it down, and we're good. Okay. We got 2 points. Not going to get too excited yet because we still need the 2 points from that Washington game. So, and luckily, the Senators did not win their last game. So we have to, absolutely have to, win this next game. And I believe if we do, we may clinch the wild card spot. So let's see where the Senators sit in terms of their regulation plus overtime wins. So they're currently at 32 regulation plus overtime wins. Where would we be? We would be with 30. Honestly, I think they win the regulation plus overtime wins tiebreaker, even if we do get these 2 points. Okay, I mean, it's still possible, I guess, because the Senators haven't clinched yet. But then again, it might just be waiting for the Bruins game. So I think even if we do win this game, we might be out. But still, nonetheless, let's give it our best. So game against Washington. They're currently 34-40-7. This would be a huge game to go into with the win. And even if we don't make the playoffs, gives us some confidence going into next season. First period, that'll be a 2-1 lead so far. Kuznetsov with the first goal of the game, but Hughes and Perlini on Holtby. Second period, and that will be a 2-2 tie. 34 shots to 16, so we're outplaying them like crazy. But they have converted just as much as us on less shots. So we are going to go into the third period and hope for the best. Come on, boys. And there's a goal by Hall on Holtby, the power play goal. Get me another one, boys. Yeah, Kiiskanen on Holtby. And a power play for Washington goes nowhere. Bob Perlini on the power play on Holtby. So a couple of games to build off of for sure. Begin on Grubauer. Don't collapse late. And there you go. So once again, a couple of games to build off of going to next season. And we didn't make the playoffs. Yeah, that's what I thought because of the regulation plus overtime wins. So we were just short. We were literally 1 point short of making the playoffs. The Senators clinch. It looks like the Bruins did not win their last game. Yeah, we lost too many games. It's the same situation as the previous year. We lost too many games too early. But I do have confidence with some of this roster going into next season. Nico Hischier, he looks like he turned it on towards the end. 69 points, 50 assists. Taylor Hall was 64 points. Bratt was 62. Perlini with 59. Hughes was abnormally silent this season with only 59 points as compared to his usual 79, 79, 82, 73, 79. You know, it was just a down year for basically everybody. Carlson with 47 points. Boquist with 46. Bykov with 44. Lundell with 42. That's a career high for him. Kiiskanen with 39, Fabro with 35, Severson with 20, Nurse with 20, Slavin with 20, Toritsky with 18, Sissons with 16, Zaka with 14, Lankow with 11, Zetterlund with 1, and Bernard played 2 games. In goal, Grubauer had a 903 save percentage and an 889, unfortunately, for Caleb Wingels. So I think what we need to put focus on going into next season is roster fit for specific players. Like, I'm not going to just sign players just because they look good defensively or they can score a lot of goals. I want to sign players that are going to fit into our roster, into their role as well. And if they fit on all lines, that'd be even better, obviously, because then that's basically a utility player. You can play them wherever you want. But we need to put some serious focus on line chemistry because that's what a lot of the winning teams in this game are doing. So unfortunately, that is yet another season down the drain. But there are a lot of positives that we can take out of it. I am feeling confident with our head coach that we just signed. And another reason I'm feeling optimistic, Mikhail Rositas, he has had a tremendous season over there in the DEL. In 45 games, 51 points in a men's league. He's 19 years of age, 17 goals, 34 assists. Hopefully he gets a huge jump going into next season. 20 power play points. The power play was definitely an area where we struggled this season, as was the penalty kill. So maybe get some more defensive guys. And we also obviously need to build up our chemistry a little bit more. Another positive that we could take out of this is that we actually did have a winning record post-trade deadline. We went 12-9 after the trade deadline, but it still obviously wasn't really enough to get into the playoffs, as if we had just one more point, we would have gotten in. And also, our head coach, Edward Potter, he technically won more games than he lost, 18-17, so I know that's not saying much, but it was better than what we had in Patrick Marleau before. So I'm confident with Potter going forward, but we definitely need to find some other players that fit his system even better. Even better than what we currently have at a 73%. I feel like we could do better, especially at forward, because we do have the +3s for all of our defensive pairs. But what we don't have is a lot of forward chemistry. So if we can find that forward chemistry, we should be a pretty good team for next year. And another thing we need, obviously, is for our goaltenders to perform up to expectations, because they obviously didn't this year. I mean, Grubauer had a .903 save percentage, but unfortunately, Caleb Wingels did not have a good rookie season with an .889 save percentage. So even though we haven't made the playoffs in the last 2 seasons, I'm still optimistic about next year, because we still have a lot of talent. We just have to figure out how to utilize it the right way, and we have to get the chemistry going as well. So with that being said, I will end this one off here, and I will see you guys in the next one when we get on with the Year 8 offseason with your New Jersey Devils. See you guys in the next one.